Let's go get him again.
The Déclaration lineup for Cartier has quietly been solid for years. The original Jean-Claude Ellena classic, and of course the flankers that came through years after years and still doing some great juice. This one right here that I'm going to talk about today received some limelight, some hype on our YouTube platform, and for good reason. And I'm going to tell you guys right now on this Pop the Cherry, this is a solid release. Let's talk about some Cartier today, shall we? Fragrance family, welcome to the Revolver channel. I'm your host, Mark. This series of Pop the Cherries, where I pop the cork on a full bottle purchase and give you my initial thoughts. I wore this scent on my skin as my scent of the day for a few days, including today. Now it's time to give you my thoughts before it goes into the vault for a full-fledged review. Now I'm cheating today. I'll be honest, the proof's in the pudding, so there's no reason for me to lie. I had a sample of this way back when. I shot a video on it and I loved it so much and I finally got a bottle. But I want to do a Pop the Cherry on this one and let you guys know, because the sample doesn't give you too much. I've already put a little bit of a dent here. Enough of a dent to do a review if I was on another channel. So if you're new here, if you're new here, thanks for watching. Subscribe and support the channel. Hit that bell. You don't want to miss a thing. I got another Déclaration, the Déclaration Parfum. The newest one staring at me right there, and it's ready for its Pop the Cherry coming up next. So I'm also all over social media under my YouTube handle, Robes08, so you can find me everywhere. You can keep tabs on behind the scenes stuff, including my scent of the days, my new purchases, and what I'm actually working on for my hub, which is this YouTube channel. Now, I do have a Facebook page, but you can follow me on there, of course. But you can also go on my Facebook group called Fragrance Guru Nation, where myself and 18,000 other members, we discuss fragrances, new releases, people buy, sell, swap, split fragrances, and it's a great source of information for any frag head out there. Now on to our sponsor of the day, FragranceX.com. Good old Fragrance X, good old reliable Fragrance X. I wanted to take the time to thank them for Déclaration D'un Soir by Cartier, and you can get the same bottle of this that I got on their site. Actually, there's tons of Cartiers. Now, Cartier has an extensive lineup, so you'll find a whole bunch on their site. Check out Fragrance X. Support me by utilizing my coupon code on their site. It's my YouTube handle, very easy, Robes08, and you get 15% off on your purchase, including this one or anything that you put on your cart. You'll get that 15% discount. So we already know, I don't have to introduce it, but Déclaration D'un Soir is in my hand. It's a rose-based fragrance for men, and oh, is it ever a beauty. Now let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one. Release date was back in 2012. I'm 8 years late on this thing. I should have reviewed it way back when, because this is a jewel of a fragrance. The nose behind this, of course, is Mathilde Laurent. And the major notes to my nose would have to be the rose, yes, the sandalwood, and the pepper. Very basic notes, but at the same time, a composition that is almost unmatched in the designer game for men. So time to crack this one open. And I love these little doohickeys here. I'm surprised that none of my atomizers have broken from my Déclaration. It always feels like the suspended atomizer here is not very sturdy. I've never broken one of these. Knock on wood, because they don't look very sturdy to me. But I am wearing this as my scent of the day. I got the dry down there, and god damn, that dry down's nice. So let's remind me of the introduction. So up top, so 3 words to describe this one: rose, 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 rose. That could be the 3 words. It's floral, yes, of course, but it's very smooth. That sandalwood rose combo, oh so well, but it has a little bit of a kick to it. Time to describe this one for all of you. So this introduction, man, it's fantastic. Up top, the rose, authentic to the T. Mathilde and the Cartier team really, truly made me think of a soft, buttery rose petal is in the air right now. A little wet. It has a wetness to it. This imagery is front and center. It's beautifully blended with the secondary notes. I really like how things dance together in this fragrance. It's so well composed. And that is one of the reasons why I love it so much, is just the way it's built. Blend. I always talk about blend and scents and how blend at times can make or break your scent. This is how you make a masculine rose, in my personal opinion. The rose in the scent always felt up front and center for me. However, it's never too feminine, to me at least. As the secondary notes of spices, it's got some woods here, delicately push the primary note and really aid it to the user, to the nose. Primarily, I get from the secondary notes are black pepper. Not too spicy, not too rough and tumble, just enough to give it some kick. Just enough kick. Sandalwood here, that is of course the wood in this fragrance, helps the smoothness. But man, it really does man up the scent a little bit with its, of course, its smooth woody aspects. The cardamom here gives it a familiar sweetness, which can make people think the rose is a little jammy. Again, the secondary notes really helping the primary note. That was the one thing that I just felt like everything just worked together so well in this introduction. Now, we all know there's always a great introduction to scents, but what happens once it dries down on your skin? So let's remind me of this dry down. Now, the dry down itself of Déclaration D'un Soir shows more of the same, which is a good thing. But at the same time, I felt a little soil here. A little bit of earthiness, almost like a little soil from my little rosebuds, basically. There's nothing earthy in the note breakdown here, but I can tell there may be a little caraway action here with the pepper. Some of the notes that are working together, that makes me kind of think a little bit of a potting soil type of vibe, which I absolutely, it works so well with the rose. Definitely. The rose continues to push here, and it is your primary throughout until the end of the life of the fragrance, and it has a spicy woody backbone. So not much movement. Can I say linear? A little bit, quite a bit actually. But when it's so good up front, sometimes that's what you need from a brand and a fragrance like this. Déclaration is a very polarizing scent, the original I'm talking about, and it does have a lot of facets. Ellena did his thing as far as being complex, yet at the same time very much a simplistic idea. This one is not very complex. It's just well made, and everything is put together very well. And it's that's what you enjoy from this release. Now let's get into the Revolver, where I talk about seasons, day, night, versatility, and performance. Let's start this one off with seasons. Anything rose-based florals. Most of my florals are I set them aside for mostly spring, depending on the composition. But this one, it excelled in the spring. It really did. Overcast days, nights, didn't matter. Rainy, was it cool in the morning? It worked then, and it started warming up. It still worked then. It was just almost the king of spring here. I feel like this is going to be a top 20 spring list heavy hitter that's going to show up in my list eventually. Not only that, but now we are starting into fall right now, and I feel the same way with this one. It's really doing well in the cooler weather. Obviously in the fall in Canada, we're getting a lot more rain. And there's a lot of wind, and this one is just shining in these two seasons. Day or night, I feel the versatility is there with this one, day or night. Contrary to what the namesake says, this is, of course, it says soir in it. It is saying it's the déclaration for the night. Yeah, I can wear day or night, doesn't matter. Versatility above average, well above average. I can wear this almost all seasons, to be quite honest. It can be a signature scent depending on your taste. I feel like this thing really does well on the versatility side of things. Performance wasn't up there crazy. 6 to 8 hours, still good enough. As far as longevity goes, projection was fairly average. I'm not seeing too much push out of this release. but at the same time, I'm very happy what I'm getting out of performance and the scent itself. They work well together. So my final thoughts on Déclaration D'un Soir by Cartier. Overall, an excellent rose for men, a bargain for the price. What sells me is how the primary note or idea, which is the rose, jumps out at you from the top. It really doesn't play any games. It tells you exactly what kind of scent this is going to be, and it continues to dominate as what surrounds it moves a bit with time and continues to give edge to the rose note. I felt like the blend was simply outstanding. Think of the rose as always staying still, and the other notes kind of come in and out of the pictures, continuously moving. The sandalwood, a perfect second in command for a rose-based scent. It was a perfect pairing for this one. Overall, not an overly complex fragrance, nor really an original idea. However, it was executed to almost, I would have to say, perfection. It is a worthy déclaration to purchase during my early testing here. I know it's early, but I feel like saying this. I feel like if you had to pick up a Déclaration flanker, this would be one of them. I think it's not only one of the best rose-based scents in the designer game for men, but I would have to go so far to say it's one of the better Déclaration flankers also in the line, and probably top 5 Cartier release for me right now. I know that's a lot to say about a release that I haven't had too much time with, but I'm absolutely blown away with what I'm getting out of this release. So now it's not goodbye, my friend. It's see you later. You're going in the vault. You're going to get tested a lot more than what you got tested here, even though I put a good chunk out of you. But it's time to go. And now that I'm done with it on this video, it's time for you to hit us up in the comments below. What do you think of this particular release, Déclaration D'un Soir? I'd love to get the intense version. They have an intense version of this stuff. Scarce, hard to find, super uber hard to find on the internet, even eBay, hard to find. But I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this particular release, because this thing, I think, is a gem from the House of Déclaration. It really is aiming for a perfect 10 club fragrance, honestly. So a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your rose-based release for men wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.